How's it going, everybody? This is Logan Staten, your tournament director for this year's 2023 Forest Hills Open, sponsored by Beer Study Shop and Drink. This is the drone flyover for the course. Big shout out to Clark Nichols for hooking us up with the drone footage. I'm going to be going through each of these holes one by one, kind of explaining the OB and where the tee pads will be. That way, if you don't have a chance to get out Friday and play the course, you will at least have a general idea of what it's going to look like for the event. So, without further ado, let's get right into hole number one. Alright guys, starting off on hole one, the drone will be flying over starting where the blue tee pads are located. You just went over the white tee pad, and the short tee pad is right about here for the event. But just keep that in mind that the drone will always start from the blue tee pads. This will be an island green that you will have to stick the landing on, so good luck with that one. Hole two, if you have played this tournament in the past and you are familiar with this manhole cover, the basket will be on top of it. The white tee pad will be right here by this bench on the right, and the red tee pad will be over near this tree. There will be OB along this whole right side right here where this tall grass is located. So keep that in mind. It will be a tight OB, but you'll have an elevated pin right there on top of that manhole cover. Now hole three. I love this hole so much. This is a double mando hole. The white tee pad is right about here, and you will have OB kind of in the middle of the field here on the right side of your screen. It'll go to this orange caution fence right here. This first tree that you see on the left behind the distances will be a mando, so you will have to fly to the right of that tree just as the drone is doing, and then you will have to go to the left of this next tree right here. The red pad is just to the left side of your screen here, so it's not as difficult for the juniors and female divisions, but it will be a double man hole, tough par 4 with a lot of OB on the right side. And then you have this beautiful little green right here, wide open, pretty fairly simple. Coming into hole 4, this is a tough par 3 for the pros. You have a very tight gap that you have to hit about midway down the fairway. Now the white and the red tee pad will both be right about here. You could actually see a little red paint on the ground there, and so you have to throw it over this bridge into this kind of guarded green here, and it'll certainly be a tough hole for the pros, but a very gettable hole for the white and the red tees. Now hole number 5, you do have this gap on the right side. You can see on the screen you can go big hyzer here. The red pad you will not be able to see from this angle, but it will be down to the right. This is a forehand line that the drone is flying that is also available. Now the road and beyond obviously will be OB, and there will be OB far down to the right. If you've ever played this course before, you're familiar with how the OB is on this course, but it runs along that tree line there that you see in the background. So you do have the big hyzer possibility coming into this green, but you can also throw the forehand down there. Hole 6 might be the signature hole. It's definitely the top 3. The drone was looking at the blue pad there. So this is going to be where the pros tee off. For the AMs, you will not have to worry about this tee shot. It is a low ceiling OB along the wood line to the left, and it will be tricky without a shadow of a doubt. Absolutely tough hole, but a perfect shot from the pros will land right about here, and then you'll have about another 400 to 420 foot shot in. The white and the red tees will be over to the right there, so it'll kind of be a backhand approach, but again you will have OB to the left here, so if you saw it off earlier coming too hot, the skipping chance is certainly there. Hole 7. a signature hole if you've ever played the Matt Keats Memorial or the Forest Hills Open in the past. This hole is a phenomenal hole. The low hanging branch right by the basket, all divisions will play the same tee pad on this hole. The basket is just nicely placed there. There will be OB left, but it will probably not be the wood line. It will be the creek that is down in that wood line. Hole 8, traditionally hole 18, the double Mando, the signature hole for many, many years, is now, instead of 18, just going to be hole 8. It is going to be a mid-round backbreaker. Right here where this manhole cover is where the drop zone will be, just as in years past. Both of these trees you see on the screen will have Mandos. You will have to fly through this gap that the drone is currently hitting into this green right here. Obviously that fence in the back will be OB, so that will create a little bit of drama. To the right you can see a big bushy tree on this. That is where the white tee will be located. That is where the traditional tee is located if you played it before. The red tee will be located on the sidewalk over here by the shack, and the basket is a permanent basket. It is in place, so this hole is playable at all times. This will be a kind of a low ceiling hyzer for the pros here, with very tight OB coming in right behind the basket. Hole 10, playing this side in reverse. We will skip this basket, what is traditionally hole 8 on the temp course's basket. That will not be in play. We will tee just past that. Right here is where the white tee pad will tee from, and then right about here is where the red tee pad will tee from. And this is just a simple hyzer OB down this right side, and then obviously if you come in too hot, there is the possibility of skipping out into the road, but just a fairly stock hyzer. A nice little par 3 here with some trouble if you are not careful. Now there is a forehand line down this road. I'm not going to recommend anybody take it, but if you are a backhand lefty or prefer to throw forehand, that line is certainly there. Blue and white will both tee off from that area. The red tee pad is going to be right here. You can see it in your screen. Actually, I lied. It will be further right than that tee pad is. That is not a 250-foot shot from there. But you can go backhand out wide and spike it in. I actually left the basket on another hole, and because I forgot we were filming this, so I am the basket for this hole. Hey, how you doing? But you can come in on the left side there or the right. Hole 12, there will be a Mando on this tree to the left, so you will have to throw through this gap that the drone is flying. A short, easy chip of a hole, certainly a must get for many, many players in the field. 225 feet, pretty simple. Now there will be OB on the right side here, but there will be at least a full circle. So OB will probably cut in right about here and go down to the river that runs back behind there. So if you do duck in a little bit early, you won't be OB, or if you blast past it, you won't be OB. I did try and make that a little bit fairer to play. Hole 13, I absolutely love the way this hole is designed. This will be a soft par 4. I'm not a fan of the par for the pros. But a nice par 3 for the whites and the red tees. You will all tee from the same tee pad that is currently in place. White and red will play to this basket, and then the pros will play to this long basket. These are the tee pads for holes 5 and 6. White will tee from hole 6's tee pad, but obviously throwing backwards, and then red will tee from hole white's tee pad towards that other basket. So should be good. And again, these are kind of rough estimates on the distances. These are not shot with a rangefinder. I will have tee signs out for the event so that you actually know where you are teeing from, or what your exact distance will be. Hole 14 has been around for a long time on this course. A low ceiling, tight gap to hit. Red tee pad will be right about here, maybe a little bit further back there in the gap. Another low ceiling here at the basket, and then, or just before the basket at the edge of circle 2, and then as you come into the basket, here is your green. Hole 15, I'm sorry, I know these are going quick. We needed to have more time actually looking at the baskets, but hole 15, white will tee about here, and red will tee right about here on the far left side of the screen. It'll make more sense once you see it. But this is just a big hyzer. You got to really push almost a 400-foot hyzer in the air from the blue tees. That will certainly make it tough. Hole 16. Many have played this hole in the past. It has been around for several years, but a different basket location. So blue and white will tee from the road, and the red tee pad will be right about here. Right about here. And so typically the basket is right here to the left, but you can see where I am standing on the right side, there is another gap that is a tighter gap to hit, but will certainly put you in a park position. We move the basket a little bit back, so if you saw it off early, you have a circle 2 putt. If you push in just a little bit deeper, you will have a edge or circle 1 putt. Hole 17, the beast. My favorite hole on the course just because I like big distance. Blue is going to tee off from where the drone started. White will tee off from right here, keeping you from having to hit this initial gap. Red will tee off from the road up here where that red car is parked. A great shot for the pros and a good shot for the those playing the white tee pad will land somewhere here in this area. And I lied, I thought that red car was further up. You'll tee right about behind this big bush to the left is where the red tees will be. Anyways, your second shot should land somewhere in this area, and this is where it gets tricky because there will be 2 different OB creeks on this field. I know I'm not a big fan of artificial OB, but to make this hole have some level of difficulty to it, we're going to have to do that. So that will make you have to think about your next shot, and then this ditch on the left will be OB the whole way. Hole 18, my favorite finishing hole I've ever created and that I've ever played. 360 foot of very tight, very low ceiling golf here. Red is going to tee off from this walkway right here. Red will be lower female divisions and the junior divisions. Now you have to throw a very, very precise shot to this landing area and then take a hard left, a 90-degree turn. All of this on the right will be OB, and then you can see the basket on top of the manhole cover here. So if you are a little bit short or a little bit long, it's going to make for a very tough approach. It is a very gettable birdie if you throw 2 precise shots, but if you don't, it is certainly going to cause some heartache. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope this helps. I will definitely have the course set up Friday. I am trying to get it to where I can set it up Thursday as well, but that is not guaranteed, but Friday is. So we will have the course set up and ready for play on Friday. I will be out there all week next week, marking OB, getting tee pads put in, and getting signage and such created. So please feel free to look out for any emails coming from us. I will have the players meeting sent out probably Thursday, and then have tee time sent out Friday afternoon, if not into the evening. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next weekend. Later.